Flash Fire takes the lead from a wave of horses. Renee Mathis running on. Flash Fire wins. Baccarat in front of Jungle Cat. They're battling it out. Baccarat with his head in front and he'll win. Artigiano in front and he's back in the winner's circle tonight. Almost go to woe.
Start by reflecting on what's happened here over the last couple of months, Charlie. 9 from 20, another 5 seconds. Can you quite believe how well it's gone?
No, not really. I mean, we knew we had a nice team. We had a select team coming out here. Over the years, you know, you'd hope to gain experience knowing what type of horse you need to bring here, and we have only got a small team. I know results have. Some people will say we've got a bigger team than the way the results have panned out, but we haven't. They've just been the right horse, and they've travelled well and wintered well here, and have thrived. Obviously, we were very lucky. We non-carnival events there just pre-Christmas. There we had a nice few winners there, so we knew the horses going into the carnival were in good order. Subsequently, they've gone and ran as they sort of did at Christmas. They've just carried on.
And how and when do you go about choosing your horses for here? Is it something you do midsummer in England?
Yeah, midsummer for sure. Some of the 2-year-olds you sort of wait to see how they develop, and obviously there's a couple of those there we know that have got the pedigree that would potentially suit this surface. So those are chosen sort of July time, and the older horses, we've brought some of the old boys back again, Flash Fire and Secret Brief and Artigiano. But generally, just after sort of Ascot going into July time, you start to take a look at a team anyway.
And we tend to forget you're only actually 4th year, is it, training for Godolphin? So you're sort of learning what it takes to win over here, and the importance of Dubai as well.
For sure. I mean, it's hugely important for our team to be competitive here in Dubai. Like I say, it's my 4th season, and as people will say, statistically, I was struggling a little bit on the dirt there, but we just didn't have that type of horse. We're slowly, getting there, finding the right horses to race on the surface, and as many years as you come out here, until you actually get your hands dirty, as they say, and your hands on, and you start to be more contact with what the racing side of it, and you learn which horses you need and what to do, and the system we have in place now, it seems to be working.
And because we do have dirt here, do you feel an extra pressure to find 2 or 3 dirt horses every year? Are you quite happy with them on turf?
I mean, obviously there's such great prize money and races to be won here on the dirt, and so we're keen to support that. But it's not pressure to find horses. They're there or they're not. I'm very lucky and aside in the number of horses we have to be able to hopefully find the right horses to bring out here.
And you've obviously got dirt at your base here. Do you train them differently on that surface? Presume you don't have it back in England.
No, we don't. We do train differently. We're more American style than we would back in Europe. Obviously, Europe is a lot more walking around and getting to and from the gallops, and it's what's known as the 2 canters. Whereas here, on the track, you just do 1 canter round. But our surface would be a ride a lot deeper probably than Meydan here. So we go. The horses, take a little. Those that haven't experienced that surface, just take a couple of weeks before they start to learn how to handle it, and then from there on, you can start pressing on.
And given the success you have had here this year, would you consider increasing numbers, or is it just a perfect manageable amount now?
For me, it's a perfect manageable amount. We're here, we're competitive in the right races, and bearing in mind, we've always got to remember we've got to Europe just. In the next sort of 6 or 8 weeks, we'll be starting to hopefully get things winding back at home now.
And with that in mind, you are back and forth from Dubai. You're a family man as well. How do you sort of fit all that in? Is it time pressures? And
no, to be fair, it's time consuming. But thankfully, going back on each trip from here, we've had a winner, so it makes it a bit easier.
And I suppose recharges the batteries for you in some respects as well.
No, that's right. But it's nice to have that, have the handle on it over here, and more importantly, we've got our classic horses, or hopefully potential classic horses, back in Newmarket there. So to keep an eye on those, weekly as well is very important.
And talking of England, 2016 may have seen your numbers in terms of winners and also runners drop, but percentages remain the same. Again, was that a conscious effort to have more quality over quantity?
That's right. I mean, as you say, 2016 numbers, numerically I was down. Prize money, we were bang up there again, and we won some some nice prizes there. Obviously Hawkbill being one of the highlights there for the summer, and Wahida finishing the season off well in France. So, but there definitely was, was a change. Year before we'd been very successful during the winter in winning the all-weather championship, which to date it still stands as a record there for the winners there. But that's not what we're predominantly there for. We're here to find good horses and produce hopefully stallions and horses for the future. So we did change our angle, and thankfully it's going the right way.
And you brought horses over here predominantly just to winter. Hawkbill chief amongst them. He came here last year. Is that the reason why you brought him back again?
That's right. Yeah. He as it's been highlighted a few times. Going into his 3-year-old career there, he was always quite hot-headed, and track work actually suited him when he came out here last winter. He thrived obviously during the summer in winning the Eclipse, and we've just felt that he's a horse that he can come back here. He's enjoying himself. He mentally, because he's so relaxed out here, he just does so well. So I brought himself. He's out here. Blue Point is out here as well, and I brought a couple of fillies out here to winter along with them.
I suppose Hawkbill had quite a hard campaign in the end, didn't he? Because once you got rolling with him, you obviously just kept going.
Well, that's right. He ran 5 times as a 2-year-old. He won his 3 starts as a 2-year-old, and then he rolled off the plane here back in the UK there in the spring and won at Newmarket, and then went on to win at Ascot. Went on to obviously win the Eclipse as a highlight. And then the reason I sort of we ran him in the 2 championship races, well in the Irish Champion, and went to Germany with him, was he's just a horse that we felt he's going to be better at Fort, and let's try and just gain some more experience with him. He was getting better with racing mentally as much as anything. So that's why we gave him those. We ran him, like I say, in the Irish Champion and in Germany.
And what would be his sort of early season target?
Potentially, I think we will look towards the Jockey Club at Newmarket there. I say he's a little bit of a ground dependent horse. I'd have to say that. We won't run him on quick ground. Good ground, you have to be, for the right reasons. But he definitely appreciates ease in the ground. So we will go where we feel the ground is right for him.
And you mentioned Wahida, your other Group 1 in Europe. Obviously takes some effort to win straight out of a maiden, doesn't it, in group company?
Yeah, I mean that was, it was a great day for Derby. That was his first Group 1 winning 2-year-old. So I was delighted to obviously be to handle that and be part of it. The filly herself, she was a big scopy filly. When she won her maiden, she slightly surprised us as well that day. Her work had been good, but it wasn't flashy. But James got off her that day, Doyle, and said, this is a filly that gave me a great feel, and she's only going to get better second half of the season. So we were lucky that we had Sabetsu was around. She broke her maiden very impressively as well at Newmarket. So it came to a choice of trying to keep the fillies apart. Therefore, that's why Sabetsu went for the fillies mile. Unfortunately, it didn't materialise that day for her. She scoped post-race dirty, so she had got a genuine excuse. And the following weekend, Wahida was off to Chantilly there, and when I put up a great performance.
Would she be more of an Oaks filly, given her pedigree?
For sure, yeah. The plan at this present time is we're going to head towards the Guineas. I think that's probably it's the best Oaks trial, really. Yeah. Old school. So we're training towards the Guineas and work away from there.
And Sabetsu, you mentioned that wide margin maiden win. Would you almost have learnt more from the defeat in the Fillies Mile than that 10-length win?
Well, potentially. I mean, thankfully William knew, going into the dip, it wasn't the same filly that had gone and won the maiden. So, like I say, we gave her an easy time. She's out here now, so there's a chance, a possibility we might see her in the Oaks here. Okay. We're not, she's training away, and if we're happy near the time, then we'll run her. If not, then I'll wait, and she'll be looking towards one of the trials at Newmarket. And you mentioned Blue Point here as well. Just nice to get him away from Newmarket. Yeah, that's right. We just felt he deserved a bit of winter sun. Willie Ryan rides him daily, so he's out here for the winter. So keep the combination together. He's thrived. There's no doubt about it. He looks. We've always felt that he was potentially a sprinter, he looks like a sprinter now. So himself and Hawkbill, and they're just having an easy time of it. They start winding him up this month. Like I say, Hawkbill will look towards the Jockey Club, and the starting point for Blue Point will be the Sandy Lane at Haydock, and hopefully onto the Commonwealth.
Okay, it's good they've got this sprinting programme for them now, because otherwise you may have been tempted to push him, would you?
Well, to be brutally honest here, that's why we ran him in the Dewhurst, just to put it clear that we weren't going to be looking down the Guineas route.
Yeah.
And it was clear for everyone to see. He travelled well into the race and looked like he was going to be competitive, and the petrol gauge just ran out the last couple hundred yards there. So from that point onwards, as you quite rightly said, it's nice to have the Commonwealth there now as a Group 1 target for the 3-year-old sprinters.
There's some of your more established stars. Anything in the woodwork that we can look forward to, one or two to nominate?
Obviously, Endless Time. She was she finished second in 2 Group 1s there. She ran consistently throughout the year. Again, she's she's ground dependent, but she looks fantastic. Obviously we'd love to get her head in front in a Group 1. She deserves to win a Group 1. She's been very consistent for us. Skiffle has done well. She's wintering well. Delighted the way she looks. Obviously went and won the Oaks trial. The Oaks probably just came a little bit too soon for her in respects to experience for her. She had 3 quick runs within a space of just about a month there. Gave her a break, and she went and ran in a nice race there in Ireland, showing all the signs that what we thought she's going to be. She's going to be hopefully a good solid 1.5 mile, black type filly.
I forgot to ask you about Boynton, actually, amongst your prominent 2-year-olds of last year. He's here, by all accounts.
That's right. Yes, correct. Yeah, he's here. We're fortunate we had the team there to look towards the Guineas. Saeed has got Thunder Snow out here for the Guineas as well. So with respects to Boynton and Thunder Snow, are two nice horses on the paper. We didn't really want them clashing heads there in the Guineas. And Boynton, for me, he's a horse that is going to appreciate stepping up. So he's out here, he's given all the time. We'll see what happens in the Guineas as respects to if one of those looks like he's going to be a UAE Derby contender.
Yeah.
And if one jumps out after the Guineas says yes, then we might just be more patient with Boynton and wait for Europe again. But he's here, and if we need him, then we'll potentially look towards the UAE Derby.
I was going to say, he almost strikes me as like the Hawkbill of last year. Hawkbill being here, you almost ran him. I got the feeling.
That's right. I mean, he was. Yeah, Hawkbill was literally on getting ready to be put on the entry page, but Boynton's doing so well. Like I say, if we've got something after Saturday that looks like it's going to be Al Bastakir and a UAE Derby horse, then that we'll probably carry on with that horse and allow Boynton to enjoy his winter and look forward to a European season with him.
And you backed off him after Glorious Goodwood again. Was that by?
He did have a minor setback, but it was minor. Just it was a joint wrench, and that was that. So that after that, the ground was gone. To be honest with you, he's a horse that wants quick ground, but he's going to be a horse to look forward to.
I want to just quickly ask you about your Australian as well success that you had over the course of it was October, November time, wasn't it? Is there a bit of playful ribbing of John Ferguson that you managed to improve all these horses you got off him?
I don't know about whether I improved them, but look, they were a team of horses that John kindly forwarded onto us from Bloomfields on his retirement, and they were good flat horses. They were 100 rated flat horses anyway. So we went down there firstly to go and just dip our toe in the water and just get a feel for it all in respects as the Melbourne Cup's out there for Godolphin to win. It's a major race in the calendar, and for Godolphin, being sponsored by Emirates, we'd love to win it. So we sent a team down there, not really looking towards a Melbourne Cup, taking the team down, horses down there just to get a feel of it. It's just one of those. It was one of those sort of runs that you couldn't have dreamt of, really. They travelled well. We had some great people at home advising us on where to place them over there, and it was just one of those dream trips. Everything just thrived. So therefore, we've got the bug. We've got the taste for it. So yes, we are looking again towards the spring carnival there. Like I say, the likes of Gold Trail is going to go down to Australia there in their autumn or spring there to try and win a race called the Mornington Cup, which is a win and you're into the Caulfield Cup. So yeah, it was a magical trip, and like I say, we've got the bug for it, and we're looking to send a nice team down there again for next spring.